Hey metalheads, welcome to another episode, Metal Academix Band Review! Who are here?
Orden Ogan!
So, this band I know from The Gunmen.
The Gunmen!
That's the only song I've heard, so I'm curious to hear what we have today.
I'm getting a cough because we're not gonna play that song. Gunmen is it is actually the most played Orden Ogan song on both YouTube and Spotify and probably in concerts and probably around the world. And for these reasons, I decided not to include it because pretty much everyone knows it and everyone loves it. And I don't think there's any more to say except that I also do love it as much as everyone else. I have a little bit of story to tell, and it's not my typical deep dive into the band story. It's a story about myself more than about the band, so you can skip forward if you don't want to hear this. But the reason why I actually paid attention to this band, and otherwise also, just like for you, basically came over my screen and ears in many different playlists and suggested videos and so on, is because of what I'm doing at the moment. At the moment, in my other life, I am working on artificial intelligence. This is my professional interest. When, maybe a month or two ago, YouTube kind of intuitively offered me...
Through its artificial intelligence algorithms.
Which is something that I discussed in my MOOC course, the recommender system, served me a song that had AI in the name. I'm like, it speaks my language. I really need to listen to it. So this is basically the opportunity that I took to deep dive into Orden Ogan, a band that has been around since 1996. Another German band. I think I have a penchant for German bands for no reason. And before I talk too much, I want to get us going, and we're not going to start chronologically as sometimes it's been the fashion on Metal Academix, but we're going to start with the song that got me to listen to this band.
The AI song.
The AI song.
Nice.
And it simply talks to my obsession with these matters as I'm writing a whole course about what does AI mean. And so this song came just on time. Let's listen. So this is from their upcoming, at the time of filming, maybe already released by the time you guys listen to this episode, album of 2021.
Cool. I like the song.
Oh, it's awesome. This is the problem, really. The problem with Orden Ogan is that you could pick pretty much 75% of any album, of any songs.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're really awesome. So I spent a lot of my time trying to pick 3, and it's a random pick in the end.
I have two thoughts that are sort of related, and I don't want to spend too much time because I know that when I bring this up, we can go into this quite a bit, which is like, the metal artist. Basically, the role of celebrity on social commentary is what I'm thinking about. And it's interesting to see metal musicians getting into...
Like Black Majesty did.
So we have an upcoming video with Black Majesty with an album from 2018 bringing up about Facebook and people spending too much time on their phones. We have examples of Accept talking about Brexit in their latest album. We have this and AI. And I'm thinking of one more that slips my mind.
The whole album, by the way, the upcoming album is about the theme of artificial intelligence and the relationship between human and robots. They have something about the heart of an android and Inferno.
I'm thinking of Amaranth and the climate change. And we're seeing more, I think, metal, mainstream metal musicians putting in
social
commentary, which is cool because it's bringing in politics into the artistic space, which is something interesting. But also, like, I don't know.
This is not about the Knights of Templar.
Yeah, which I kind of prefer. But I also do think, like, I don't know, how much does... And this is the second point I want to make about this, which is the German connection about data privacy, which Germans tend to be very heavy on the data privacy.
Article 13.
And so I wonder how much that connection has. There's a very strong cultural tradition of Germans in particular being data privacy focused. We can see this in institutions and regulations. We won't go there, but that's what I was thinking about as I watched this video. But the song itself, no matter what the lyrics are, awesome.
I think it's very good, and I have 2 also comments. We can go on too much on this theme, which I won't, but I will say that these guys and the entire album, from what I gather so far, is what we call techno-pessimists. So they perceive a negative future on the basis of this, AI taking over the world kind of thing, which is not supported by science. This is my scientist role to say it. It's a vision, it's an artistic vision, but it's not anywhere near a reality. And the other part, which I would say is that completely different comment, is that it's one aspect that I actually enjoy this kind of synthesized voice, this kind of like the way they process the voice to sound like a robot. I like it when it's done intentionally to convey the robotic nature. I think it's a cool, subtle effect. So I really enjoy this song. I'm greatly looking forward to the album.
How similar is that? I mean, because this is, okay, so we have the dawn of AI, right? Okay. I don't want to get too much into this, but we have the dawn of AI and this particular song, but like, isn't this also what was going on in the 80s?
Technology.
With like Devo and Whip It and like the real flourish of synth and this Yamaha basically synth sound.
I think it's a very... I don't even know what to say, but because I tend to talk too much and I don't want to do it, but there's a great, kind of feedback loop between technologies that are available and the way artists, including musicians, pick this up. So in the 80s, the idea or the possibility of simulating sounds through a synthesized organ, which was this keyboard that could replicate anything. You could replicate the flute, the violin, a human voice, the cello, or a church organ in a replicated electronic version. That was an amazing possibility that, of course, musicians who simply bathe in sounds picked up on. And we have bands that we even reviewed on this channel, like Stratovarius, who really maximize the use of keys, or Galnerius, who also basically uses a tower of synth.
I recently heard a podcast on this from The Academix. I talked about there was one version, I think it was Yamaha, I could be wrong on that created one, basically, it was a technological innovation that allowed for because previously synthesizers were expensive, so this kind of democratized that, and that led to basically most of the music you hear in the 80s comes from this distinctive sound that we can all recognize. But I think we're getting a little bit too.
We don't want to go there. And each.
So the point I wanted to make was that the technological innovation led to the revolution in sound that then artists used to critique the technological innovation that was providing their sound.
And I think we're looking at it right now.
Exactly.
In this. There's so much more to say, but if you have any comments, you can also contribute to the discussion in the comments. I think we'll be very happy to keep on talking about this subject that is close to our hearts in our other identities. But for the purposes, I'm thinking, let's move on and let me shock you with something about Orden Ogan. They started as a folk metal band. It's like
I'm all for
you're
it.
like, what? If you hear this, it's all about modern technology and super many levels of, voice processing and stuff. Their first album, Veil, was folk music inspired. I'm not gonna play a song from that album, even though I was very, very, very tempted to do so, but decided against it. But the next song that we will hear is very folk music inspired, even though the video that the band chose is set up in a post-nuclear apocalyptic world.
After AI.
Yeah, so it kind of, they're definitely techno-pessimists. Let me repeat that. But if you could not look at the video, which we're nevertheless going to play, if we close your eyes and just listen to the music, it is very folksy. And I think you will hear those primordial references. So the song that we're going to listen to is called "Things We Believe In," and comes from an album that is wholly fantastic. I couldn't pick any one song, but eventually I ended up picking this one just to illustrate the different facets of the band. And now, "Things We Believe In."
See
this song will not leave your brain for days, for months, forever. It is actually very, very easy to just
sing-songy.
Sing-songy and folksy, so you can hear that, and I think it's an honoring of their tradition where they started. Where they started out. I'm trying to get the names of people who are in this band, just because I tend to forget. The founding members both are called Sebastian, which is actually easy to remember, but not to distinguish between them. But the one guy who keeps on, carrying the Orden Ogan band name forward is called Seb, as opposed to the other guy. So Sebastian Leverman. And the interesting part is that he also oftentimes produces the music. So I think they have, in collaboration with whoever label they work with, but they also are in control of the sound. And this is one thing that is very much a trademark, the high quality of the music production. Not that I'm a super fancy, music person, but I like my sound to be good. I pay attention to this. I enjoy it when it's good, and it's fantastic. On Orden Ogan's, like 90% of what I've listened to their albums is really, really spot on. It just fits their message, and it's clearly showing up. I don't think every time Seb is really there, but he's also the main vocal. Mm-hmm. So you see him play, and obviously he's involved into this music production process, let's say. And so I really appreciate that. I also wanted to mention a couple of other quick things. The costumes, they're almost always in live concerts as well as in videos, as you have seen, showing up in a certain kind of costume, which is very specific. You would recognize it's an Orden Ogan concert by looking at the big shoulder pads and this kind of things. Black, always in black. So that's one element. And the other thing in terms of the music concept is the layering of voices. This is, I think, something that is very specific to them. They are great music composers, so they're never boring. That's why I encourage everyone who hasn't already become a big listener to Orden Ogan to listen to whole albums. They're so varied. It's really a pleasure. Nothing like, part one, chorus, part two, chorus, then a solo, then ending. Mm-hmm. This is like a classic.
Blended.
Very, very different, surprising elements. Really a pleasure to listen to as a whole. Moreover, every album has a theme. So we had the Western theme, the one that you have Gunman from. The whole album is about this. It's like putting yourself in the shoes of somebody who goes and shoots and has adventures in the Wild West. This song that we have just seen, I'm trying just, I sometimes mispronounce the name of things, so I just want to get this right. This is called To the End. The album that hosts Things We Believe In, and it's all about ice. It's a world of ice. We can say
it look cold in there.
A nuclear winter, if you want. But it is all about ice, and the cover illustrates the icy universe. One of my favorite, generally speaking, of all like songs that I don't really like ballads and mid-tempo songs. I like more powerful things, but The Ice Kings is a relatively slower song on this album that is fantastic. I was very tempted to include it, but decided against it because it didn't have a video. Really great album. Probably is my most favorite album, To the End, of theirs. And that came all the way back to 2012. However,
so what's number 3?
What's number 3? It was so hard again. It's because I really, really, really enjoyed all of it, all of this production. But I'm going for the Ravenhead. The album Ravenhead from 2015, which is placed in a swamp. It's a concept album in the sense that each album tells a story about that thing, but it doesn't continue from album to album. So from the Ice Age, we're moving to a swamp and the swamp heroes. and in a castle that is being located in the vicinity of this swamp. And that's Ravenhead.
Okay. The
And
castle is Ravenhead.
The castle is Ravenhead, and we're going to listen to the song that gives the name to the album, which is also called Ravenhead, even though there are some pretty good contenders on the same album, like Fever, for example. But we're going to stick with Ravenhead just because I think is the most enjoyable on this production from 2015.
Ravenhead.
Ravenhead, it's a lyric video.
Let's hear it.
So that was Ravenhead
I got excited. I want to get the raven with the glow-in-the-dark eyes.
I just thought that this would be a perfect
Who's
present
got
for...
the raven with glow-in-the-dark eyes? Will you sell it to us?
Oh, I thought immediately that was going to be a perfect present. present. I mean, how good is this song?
Yeah, I would say overall, and based on what you said, that I like the layering.
Exactly.
I would say the layering of different elements of the composition on top of each other. It blends. They do a great job blending, and the production of that is excellent.
Is so smooth. Honestly, once you start down like the Orden Ogan path, you basically cannot stop. You just play this. You can play the whole discography. They have a live DVD, the Book of Organ, that you can also. It's also a live recording as a CD. Great live performance. Apropos that, they will be going on a tour promoting the new album. Starting late 2021. Again, inshallah, we will see if this will go, but hopefully it will go. And they will be touring with Brothers of Metal. And Ylva is going to be a guest singer on one song of the upcoming album.
Interesting.
And they did this before, as you may have seen in the video. They've toured with Hammerfall, and Joachim Kahn is a guest singer on Ravenhead on a great song. That I was very tempted to include as the showcase.
Not in this song, but on a song on the album.
On the song on the album Ravenhead. On that same album, we have Chris Boltendahl from Gravedigger, who is putting in a
German connection.
Very thrashy, a little bit harder sound. Very good song as well. On the Gunman album, we have Liv Kristine, who is a Norwegian, more symphonic metal singer, who is originally from Liv's Eyes. She's having a guest show, so definitely they're very much into that collaborating and inspiring others, and making music in the spirit of others so that they can fit. So I'm obviously very excited to hear how Ylva and Seb will collaborate on this upcoming song, not yet revealed. We don't know what's going to look like. So at the time of filming.
That's interesting for me because as I commented on our Brothers of Metal video. Her male counterpart in Brothers of Metal is generally a sort of growler, whereas this guy doesn't seem to be so much.
No growling.
So I would like to see Ylva with a non-growl male counterpart and see how that goes.
I'm very curious, and maybe they'll come to Sweden, and maybe we can be listen to them live. I know. I'm just so longing for concerts. I just invite everyone to dig into the Orden Ogan discography. There is simply nothing bad. I have listened to everything they've produced. They have been around since forever, and everything they've done is great. Some songs may be a little bit, too slow for my taste, but they're there to vary the album, so you can listen to albums without being bored. There's themes flowing through. There's this folkish theme. There's harder rhythms with more thrashy inspired guitars and drums coming through. Always excellent sound quality, which I really appreciate, even in the live performance. Excellent sound quality, and it's a delight. I've become a fan, simply.
Clearly.
From the AI into this, it was a spiral of just digging into...
How ironic.
Yeah, into the real music.
Brought in via the recommender system. But
yes,
let's not let that color the music too much.
I hope you also enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have more background information on the band, please let us know in the comments. I haven't got the chance to really research too much the interviews they've given or the type of vision they have broadly. So if you have any more additional comments, I'm very happy to get more info.
But in the meantime,
may your sword stay sharp
and your quests end in glory.